Following that impressive victory over Junior Dorticos, Murat Gassiev is going to be fighting Oleksandr Usyk for another unified and undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. It will be the third one after Evander Holyfield and David Haye, but this is the first one that all four belts are going to be unified, including the IBO as well, which is not that important, but statistically it's historical. It's scheduled to be taking place on May the 11th in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, so that's a bit different. I believe Russia might be looking to bid for it as well to host the fight, but it's certainly an enticing fight, one of the fights of the year between two young guys, two unbeaten, nice different styles, both very good fighters. I think unless Gassiev is able to land an absolute peach of a shot, or Usyk manages to accumulate enough facial damage, this one is probably going to go the distance. These guys are both young, they're both very tough, very game, they both really want to win, and they're both undefeated as well. So all those factors I think will combine to make neither man want to give in at all. So they'll either have to have their lights put out or just be in a state facially wise where they just can't continue. So I expect this fight between more of the boxer in Usyk and more of the puncher in Gassiev to go the full 12. Because of his superior movement, understanding of distance and overall skill set really, I'm favouring Usyk to be able to outpoint Gassiev. His volume, he throws a lot more punches, he's going to be moving around, and he's got that little bit of spite about him as well. I don't think it's the kind of macho spite which is going to get him into silly trouble. I don't think he's going to get right up in Gassiev's face and attempt to trade hooks with him. But he does fire back when he gets caught with one to make sure he's always on top in the rounds. So I'm favouring Usyk to use his movement, his volume, to keep that southpaw right jab in Gassiev's face, move, and be able to take the odd shot, ride with it, and generally always have the edge in most of the rounds. What I like about Gassiev, especially in a 12-round fight, is that he's defensively very good. He keeps his hands nice and high and the chin down, and he's very economical with his shots, so his power stays late. You'll notice he doesn't really throw more than a 3-punch combination, so it's more about the quality of his contributions. Gassiev, as you saw against Dorticos, he likes to stay back a bit. He has a fair bit of head movement himself. He does catch a lot on the forehead, which won't help him against Usyk, who'll be able to rack up points that way. But he knows how to tuck up nicely so shots don't hurt him. And of course, Dorticos probably hit a lot harder than Usyk does. So Gassiev is going to be looking to shell up, let Usyk go to work. But in the 12-round fight, when he has his opportunities, when Usyk is more likely to have breaks after putting in more of the work in a round, that's when Gassiev is going to be looking for those vicious left uppercuts, right hooks, and left hooks to the body. And as I say, because he's economical with his power, because he's careful and selective with what he chooses, he really cracks hard right the way to the final bell. So I'd say later on will be the Russians' opportunity to really make a dent in the Ukrainian. Ultimately though, I go back to my previous point about Usyk having the superior skill set. I think with his movement, and he's very tough as well, he's probably going to be able to take what comes his way, and he's going to be able to move enough, and even if he does get hurt, it will probably be with one shot and he'll be able to get out of the crisis. I expect him to be able to smooth over any potential crisis, to keep himself in the driver's seat, to always have the edge in the rounds with volume, and ultimately outpoint Gassiev to become the new unified cruiserweight champion of the world. And from there, it's still very interesting. Of course, Gassiev is very young. Both guys have spoken, I think, at least Usyk has, about going up to heavyweight from. It's all onwards and upwards with their career, no matter who wins or loses. And Usyk, of course, has spoken about possibly doing something crazy, like fighting Anthony Joshua at heavyweight. So, who knows? But I expect a great fight and a deserving winner.